What a day. That's the draw,
It's on all the YouTube videos I watch.
Welcome back. Oh, fuck. That was reverby in my own head. Season 4, episode 50. Cranking.
Right? This is like 3 weeks in a row now.
I know.
And we have a special guest.
We do.
Number one pod listener, probably. I'm even repping the set tonight.
Yeah. Oh, are you wearing that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Look. My wife couldn't read it, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a... I mean,
Mainly
thank China for
Maine
that.
Stoopid. I was like, oh, yeah.
I mean, just like us, our sweatshirts are just as
Yeah.
stupid.
Ooh, this is comfy.
So we have the Mainely Fly Guide. He's also our fact checker. He texts us after we record and tells us
How bad we're doing.
Yeah, I'm a big listener. I know way more about York soccer than I need to know, I think.
It's the hot topic in town, really.
It can be. Yeah.
It's gotten worse, don't worry.
I'd only been to York, I mean, besides going to Eldridge, but like to York maybe one time in my life before coming down to Euros. I coached a JV football game once at York High School with no assistant coaches. That was really interesting.
Perfect. Nailed
Yeah.
it.
But driving down here, I mean, geez, you got the little golf club there.
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you have a mooring right here? It's a nice little spot.
because it's like a 20-year wait list.
33 years right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're real efficient.
What is that?
York Harbor.
That's York Harbor?
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
York
So it's
River.
not like it's a York River?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just way up from like the turnpike, right? Or no, way south.
Way south.
Way south, inland.
Or
more
way
towards the ocean.
east.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Nice. What about this little brook over here? Is there any brookies in there?
Nah, no.
No?
No.
That's just a little ditch.
It's,
Ditch
yeah.
stream.
And it's been flooded now for like 3 years straight. It is great duck habitat right now.
Nice.
So I try and run over any raccoon or possum or fox I see so they don't kill the ducks, so then I can kill the ducks.
Do they have eggs right now?
Yeah.
They sit on them?
Yeah.
Ducks sit on them?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about ducks.
That's why you can kill more males than female ducks,
Yeah.
because the female mortality rate is so much higher because of nature.
Are like mallards respected in the duck game?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a respected kill. It's just funny to me that something like that eats my kids' Cheez-Its at the beach is like highly coveted.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
It's like-
and you go to other places in the country, and like they've never seen a black duck before.
It's
And
crazy.
we have them by the thousands here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
And it's
what
like-
is it? Two. It's
It's now 2. It used to be 1.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you go out in the morning, shoot one black duck, and then just sit there.
Well, that's like the people who live in like Colorado, and there's just like a 5x5 elk in their yard,
Yeah.
and you're like, people walk like 15 miles to shoot that at 300 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in your front yard. That's so funny how that works. It's crazy. So what's new with you guys?
Boat's open. Boat's ready.
You've been out.
No, haven't splashed it,
Yeah.
but I've been debating on building a front platform for it.
What would that look like?
Sort of like what I cut out of the boat beforehand, so it'd be like a step up front.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like flush with the rails, right?
No.
But you'd be a step up though.
It'd be like
It'd be kind of cool.
12 inches.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot better visibility.
Get a little leverage.
But
What about like fly line management?
It's wide open.
You seen those baskets? I don't like those.
I don't.
Like the
I hate
buckets.
them.
Like the.
I don't like the
It's like a
buckets.
trash can.
Yeah. I've seen a few different. The matting kind of interests me. Like I don't know if you've seen like the.
That's what I
stripping
did down
mats.
in Florida.
Yeah.
The only problem I was red fishing, and I had to like strip and like bring my hand way down to make sure it was catching there and not falling off the boat.
Yeah.
And to me, it was a little cumbersome. I got used to it, but I still had fly line like off the side of the boat pretty much all day.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's super addicting. But it also showed me like how inadequate I am as a saltwater fisherman.
Well, and those guys down there, like, you're stealth. Like, you have to have good
Yeah.
fly placement.
Yeah.
There were redfish. I was in Florida. Went to this spot called Mosquito Lagoon, which is cool. It's like Cape Canaveral's right there, so
Yeah.
you got all the space. Like you can see like the SpaceX station and some of the other ones, and you're like fishing with manatees and dolphins right there.
Yeah.
It was really cool, but it was easy, but it was hard. It was so weird. Like sometimes it was like this should be so easy, but then they spook like crazy.
Yeah.
It reminded me of striper fishing up here on the flats. Like they just spook. Like by the time your boat gets near them, you don't see them, and they just
Yeah.
puff and they're gone. you
Yeah.
know?
That's the tough part. Like, we had one last year, me and Ian. We were in just a small cove down here, and it's dead flats. And I mean, we were motor off, just coasting, no music, no nothing. And like, I saw the fish, and it was at like 60 yards, and I'm like,
What was he doing?
the fish?
Yeah, it was like a
Just-
foot of water or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just chilling.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was like, Ian, you could cast on that. Like, as soon as he took a step in the boat, the fish just
Yeah.
gone.
They just sense the
Yeah.
vibration in the water.
I mean, I know I'm up in the mountains. I know I love being up in Rangeley, but I'm like, I just want to fish for stripers and flats so much now. Like it's so cool to me. And I
Yeah.
get it, and it's hard and it's challenging. I think that's what I like about it. But to me, all striper fishing is challenging. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I never go out there and have like a 20 fish day like I do a trout. You know, it doesn't work that way. To
No,
me.
I think the fish act way different than
Yeah.
trout in
Yeah.
the sense of like, they eat all night.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, listen, I'm 95% of the time on foot.
Yeah.
So for me, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know anybody on foot who's catching like 20, and if you are, then you're just experienced. You've been doing it for a long time. But
Yeah.
I mean, if I like catch 3, that's an extraordinary day for me at least. But I'm new to it, you know, still learning. I go to the same spots everybody else goes to, so it's not like I know some. hidden
It takes
gems.
time.
Yeah.
It does. I put some time in the last like 2-3 years, but I'm still working on it. But I'm not like spot burn. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not,
You
I'm
just
not-
need to go just like buy that skiff
I know.
and just
I know.
own Scarborough Marsh.
I'm working on it. I got some things in the works, so we'll see. I might grab a little 16-foot skiff here. We'll see.
If not, I might know where there's a 17. for
I
sale.
know you know. You send me a boat every other day, but I don't.
I know where there's one here, right?
Yeah, there's a 17.
Yeah.
Literally right there.
What, in your property?
Yeah.
Whose is it?
My buddy Chad's.
Oh, nice.
He's in North Carolina. He needs to sell it.
Oh, what is it?
So
It's
a
a whaler.
17-foot Montauk whaler.
So it's is the center console?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice boat.
Is it? It doesn't have a bowling platform and stuff, though, right?
No.
No.
I got a guy for that though.
Sure. Yeah. I'm sure you do.
You could buy it right for what it is. It's just gonna need some work. It's been sitting a long time.
Someday you're gonna build boats. That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna do. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna invest in that whenever that happens. I don't know.
I want
I don't
to.
know what you need for investment. Maybe for equipment and stuff like that, or maybe buying the boats up front.
It's more capital than anything. Probably buying the
Yeah, like what do
molds.
you need money? What do you need money for to do that? Like buying the boats, or is it more the
Material.
material?
Yeah. Because like I would start off like I would just find like you can find boats for under $1,000
Yeah.
that are still in great. Like the hull is in great shape.
Yeah.
Everything else is trash. Don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm gonna
Just gut
literally
it.
take a chainsaw to it. So,
Yeah.
and then once you gut it, and then it's just fiberglass and resin. I mean,
What do you need? A bigger you need a bigger shop though.
I would like a bigger shop, or I got to reconfigure my shop.
Could you fit a bigger shop on your property here?
Yeah, I could keep my shop going this way.
You could. Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you add on to it, or just rebuild a whole new one?
I'd probably add on to it.
You would, yeah. Is it wood? It's
Yeah.
not like a metal shop. Right?
No.
No. Interesting. How much does that cost?
To add on to it,
Yeah. I know you do.
way more than I want to
Yeah.
invest right now.
Yeah.
Like way more.
Like more than 150?
No, it'd probably like 120 for what I want
Yeah.
to be able to do.
Yeah. You got heat in there?
Yeah,
What do you do for heat?
pellet stove.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because, I mean, you have to keep the temperature up if you're letting stuff cure in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, the shop with the pellet stove going for 5 hours. The shop is 70.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah, that's just fine.
but I don't heat it all winter. Like it's off whenever. I think I'm gonna put electric heat out there just to like maintain like a little
Keep it
level
keep it
of
at
like 45. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do for that though? Electric would you just do
220.
pumps?
No, 220 just fucking side like warehouse space heater.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And just keep it running all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
I looked into doing waste oil burner, which those are sweet.
Yep.
They're just so fucking expensive.
And how much waste oil would you need?
I don't know. I got about 55 fucking gallons right now.
So you just like dip a bucket in there, pour it in. Is that
Yeah.
how it works, pretty much?
Yeah, you literally fill an oil tank with waste oil.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
And then it burns the waste oil.
Real efficiently though.
I know where you can get a bunch too.
Yeah. He's got a bunch.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we fill because we don't have a waste oil furnace, so we just fill. We got a 250 that we fill, and then we pump it off into like I think it's a 300-gallon tote that this guy comes and he just swaps them out when they're empty.
Yep.
Because he has a waste oil furnace in his shop, and so works out.
I mean, my goal for like me and people I like to fish with and be friends was like everybody should just have their own business so you have freedom.
Yeah.
Right. But also like doing something you love doing. Like that to me is the ultimate goal in life, right? That's true freedom. You're doing something you like doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be killing it, but make enough money to be living
agree.
good, you know.
Well,
But it's hard because you gotta take a risk. Like we all gotta leave something that's steady. You know?
it's not only that, but it's also like the medical side of it.
And the insurance.
Insurance
Yeah, so
and shit.
expensive.
Yeah, it's insane.
We looked into I guess Katie's leaving her job tomorrow.
Oh, good for her.
Yep. She's gonna take the summer off and just kind of reevaluate and maybe find a different nursing job in the fall. We'll see. I got some things going on too that could help out financially. Some stuff with my dad. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe she doesn't need to work for a little while or whatever and hang out with the little guy. But yeah, where was I going with that?
Just like financial freedom.
Financial
to
freedom.
do
Yeah,
things that you
yeah.
love.
So I don't know. Someday, we were looking at health insurance. That's what it was. And
Yeah.
it's like 20. You're gonna spend like 20 grand a year,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is crazy.
Which is insane because the fact that health insurance costs that much for what you get from it.
Yeah. Well, your premiums would be like 7,000 or 8,000 a year, right? But then like you can spend up to 20. Is my point.
Yeah.
You know, if you broke your ankle and you need like $7,000 worth of surgery, like that's.
I'm not
That's
quite
coming
sure
out.
what we like. I don't get charged. Like my company pays for my health insurance 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, everybody's health insurance at the shop gets paid for 100%.
Yeah.
That's-
which is a huge perk to
Yeah.
us. But
That's
it's
something you never leave.
It's
like-
it's a massive dime on the company every year, you know.
Yeah.
But it it's one of those things. It's almost like a bargaining chip to a point for an employer.
I get it.
Oh yeah.
You know.
But it's
I'm a teacher. I mean, a huge part of teaching is like, you know, I have low premiums, and then like my deductible is like $400 for the family for the year, and it's really good insurance. So that's like a perk, but that's probably why teachers aren't making that much more. But you know, people don't know that about teachers either. They actually have really good health insurance.
Yeah. My
So-
like it made sense for my wife. She has health insurance through her school
Yep.
versus coming on mine.
Right. So
we
she
have,
does her thing,
yeah.
you do yours.
Yep.
Smart. Doesn't it suck though that like having that freedom to go on your own, do your own thing, basically depends on like health
Yeah,
insurance? Right?
it really does. It's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things we looked at doing, because like, I was like, well, we could both swing it, but it's also like, I don't know. I make way too much money right now for what I do, and I can still get away quite a bit. It's not as much as I'd want, but also the reality of like I look at the boatyard guys right now. So, like, if I was building boats, I'd also store boats, and I'd winterize boats for guys and shit.
Yeah, so you make all this extra little money off it.
Yeah. But then I'd go to the boatyard. Like, I was up at the boatyard on fucking Monday, and those dudes cannot take a day off until fucking July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's like, I don't want that.
Nope.
But then, like, you see these guys, like, there's a YouTube channel, The Captain, which I'm obsessed with. It's all about, like, Aussies and New Zealanders.
Yeah.
And building their boats down there. And there's a dude that's like, I don't know how long it takes me to build a boat, and if you ask me how much, I'm going to tell you no.
Right.
He goes, my boats, I build 6 at a time, and they vary between 11 to 3 years.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll get it done eventually.
Yep.
I'm like, well, yeah, you have the financial freedom to do that. So now, like, my kind of goal now is like, all right, I turned 40 this year. So I'm like, let's set it up that at 50, I'm set for everything to be able to walk away and start my own thing
Right.
at 50.
Yeah, and then you can take a year to build a boat. Or
Exactly.
Not be so crunched feeling
Yeah.
with it, you know. And that's the other part, though. You get your own little business going, and then you get popular and you get busy, and you're like, this isn't what I signed. This isn't what I started this for.
Right.
Right. It's like it takes you over, and you're like, now you're not having that freedom that.
Well, I mean, it happens in every industry. Look at, like, Tributary Brewing. Like, Todd Mott is, I know you don't know much about the brewery world, but Ian does. And, you know, he was one of the pioneers of the IPA for Harpoon. He developed Harpoon's IPA.
Okay.
And he was there, and then he went to...
OGs for
Yeah. So he's,
IPAs.
like, legit, like, between him and the guy that Todd at Allagash are, like, folklore in the brewing worlds. And it's like, you know, he now is at Tributary, and he's, like, turning down orders because he doesn't want to fucking work that hard.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, but their product is loved so much, and he's like, the people are like, yeah, but we want, and it's like, so his son now is stepping up more, and but it's like, he's like, this is a hobby at this point.
Right.
Like, that's what I wanted it to be. And
that's the interesting part, though, about getting, like, successful at something, is that it becomes too much, right?
Oh, yeah.
At first, you're like, all right, I can make a living off this, doing what I like doing, it's fun, I'm enjoying it. But then it comes to a point where you're, like, turning everybody down.
yeah,
Have
That's
you
me,
ever?
That's me with guiding right now.
Yeah, that's what kind of
Like,
what I was
legit.
gonna,
Like, I mean, I got 3 little kids I watch all summer, and I want to be there. I don't want to guide every single day,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I turn down a lot of trips, but I mean, I'm giving them to people that are good guides who
Yeah.
can handle more business than me because they don't have kids, or the kids are out older and out of the
Yeah.
house. And, like, that's fine, and maybe someday I do come back around to it, but I mean, right now, like, I'm doing like 15 trips this year.
yeah.
And that's just because that's all I can handle with, like, my life schedule. You know, that's just where I'm at. But would I like to do more? Sure. But
people have said that, like, with my fly tying, people are like, you should do this and sell them. I'm like, I don't really want to do that.
yeah, because if you do it too much, you're gonna get
I'm
burnt
gonna,
out.
yeah,
of it.
exactly.
Or get injured.
Yeah.
Like Logan has like horrible
Carpal tunnel.
like carpal tunnel from it or whatever. He's like, you know, he has like a wrist guard thing going by the end of the season every year.
Well, I mean, you look at too, like, the way Ben does it, right? Like, you build that popularity, and then you just cap it by doing, like, here's
small
a
batch,
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
His system's good
yeah,
because he's not just taking custom orders.
right.
Somebody sent me, and I'm not touting myself as a good fly tyer that could sell flies, but a family member messaged me the other day. There's this hardware store in Cornish, Maine, that's looking for somebody to tie flies for them so they could sell them. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, maybe I could contact him, but I was like, I'd have to tie 1,000 flies to get them fucking going, and I don't want to take that time to do it, because it's like, I mean, talk to me in November,
Yeah.
and maybe, you know, something then for next year. But at this point, I don't want to dedicate that time to do that.
No, that's the hard part of it all. You know, it's like everybody looks at your passions, your hobbies, you're like, all right, how can I monetize this?
Yeah.
But then it becomes a job.
Yeah.
It's no longer a passion or
That's
something.
100% of the reason why I've yet to ever commit to guiding.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the last 5 years, I've seen. It's only been 5 years, and I've seen so many like younger dudes mostly get into it, and like they're not guiding right now because it's just like, one, there's really not that much demand.
There isn't, but I mean there is.
There is and there isn't.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to do and where like you draw the line. Like I would do spin trips.
Yeah.
I would do live bait trips.
Yeah, you have to, like salt, like you just have to diversify a lot.
Yeah.
Freshwater, if you want to make money, you got to go work for a lodge.
Yeah.
Like that's the only way you're going to get enough trips, but you're also making 150, maybe even $200 less a day.
Right.
Right? Because the lodges are going to keep their prices a little bit lower. So it's a trade-off, you know.
100%. And then like, but it was always like I have said it since day one, where it's like fishing is a passion for me for getting away from life.
Yeah.
And getting away from daily work shit.
Exactly.
I don't want to be out there with fucking Timmy and Johnny and fucking getting hooked by fucking 9 sabikis in the fucking ass as I'm trying to fucking unfuck the rat's nest that they've done. And it's like, but then again, like there's been days on the water where it's like I basically am guiding people, and like the feeling of like putting someone on a fish is fucking dope.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I just see a lot of guys who are really good at fishing because they just grind, right?
Yeah.
A lot of younger guys, so they can, have kids and stuff yet, and they can go for 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every weekend, and it's like they're catching really nice fish. But it's different when you are taking somebody out who's brand new or who can't physically go the places you go, or
Right.
do the things you do, or wade out in the river as far as you do, or whatever it is. And like that's a whole different skill set that I think a lot of people think is not that hard, but when it comes down, it really, really can be. Because
Yeah.
if a person can't cast it 15 feet,
You're kind of done.
you're kind of done.
Yeah.
And if you can't teach them how to make that, like teaching someone how to cast is way different than you casting.
Yeah.
It just is, because everybody's got a different skill set. It's not like everybody comes in, they're the same. Like, I don't know, man. I've brought like people out like bass fishing before, and I need you to cast like 30 feet, like max.
Right.
And then I have people who just can't get there, and I can work with them all day. And maybe they're just not physically strong enough, or they're just not able to listen and apply. And I mean, I try to pull out all the little stops I know, and they're still not consistently making casts. And all of us know you can make 10 out of 10 perfect casts. It doesn't mean you're gonna hook up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your odds are just way, way down at that point. So it's
My
hard.
wife has asked me to teach her to cast, and I'm like, no, I can't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to teach you. I mean, I'm still learning to a point, and I was like, the best thing we could do is hire Jim at the shop.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I think the best way to get people into it is just start really small. Like my kids, I just bring them to places where they gotta like be able to roll cast, and yeah, they're not gonna catch a 20-inch trout. They're gonna catch a 6-inch trout, but they're gonna have fun. You're gonna catch a bunch of them. You're gonna learn
one of those.
You're gonna learn how to set the hook, which is honestly the hardest part to teach somebody.
Yeah,
is setting the hook.
100%.
It's not the casting. It's not the presenting. It's not even playing the fish. It's how to set the hook, because you can talk about it, but until that moment happens,
To this day, that's still probably my biggest, like,
Set the hook.
especially with stripers.
Yep.
Because I want a fucking trout set every time, but I need to learn to fucking put the line in my pocket.
Yeah.
And last year, and the year before, I don't know how many fucking flies I watched come out of a striper's mouth. Because I didn't run.
Last year, there's a couple fucking absolute nightmare fish that I can still see.
Yeah. I'll never forget what James Brown told me back in like 2020, where he's just like, my arm is all the way out at all times.
Yeah.
Because if I strip, like my casting arm, right? He's like, if I strip back to my pocket and I got my line there, he goes, I can at least pull back with my right hand to my pocket now, right? Or left hand, whatever you are. And I've never forgot that. So now when I'm striping fishing, dude, my arm is like dead straight out. It's not like trout where I can keep my arm up a little bit. Like, it's out there.
And try to keep your eyelets in the water so you can
Keep it low.
use that leverage.
Yeah, so you can pull back, and I've caught fish now, and I get it. I've caught fish when my left hand's had my line in my pocket, and I had to pull back with my right arm. I mean, that's a strip set, right? That's what they call that, and it's just something I hadn't practiced before, but it's cool when you like listen to it and then try it and it works, and now it's just like a habit.
Yeah,
which is great. Double hauling, still can't get there. I'm close sometimes, and sometimes I do it, but then I'm like, if you do it once, you're like, why can't I just replicate this every time? You know,
Yeah.
it's
Or it's one of those
weird.
where you're like, all right, if I don't think about it, I actually am starting to do
Yep.
it subconsciously just
Yeah.
to try and throw a fly further.
yeah.
And
So-
then as soon as you realize it and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm almost there. Let me fucking think about it. And then it's like, all right, well, cool. I just fucking tied 17 knots. Great.
yeah,
It happens to me like with casting from the boat with stripers. Like I'll be casting great, and then I'm like, oh, I'm casting pretty well, and then I fucking screw it. I start
Yep.
thinking about it, and I screw it up for the next half hour.
when I was just down in Florida, like guides pulling me around, and first fish I hooked it, like it was like crazy, like the first fish of the day. It was a tailing red. It was exactly what I wanted to do, and he ate, and I strip set, and I got him in, and I got him like 6 feet from the boat, and he just popped.
Yeah.
So I never got to hold him, and he looked good, maybe 30, like high
Yeah.
20s, which is a good sized redfish. But then throughout the day, it was so funny, man. I'd get up to a tailing redfish, we'd be coming up to it. He's just happy, doesn't know we're there, and my casting would just go to hell because I was getting so like
Just jacked up.
I just wanted to get it in there, so
Yeah.
my casting sped way up, and then I'm like, I'm left, I'm right, like I'm not landing where I want. As soon as the fish was gone, I looked at him like, hey, I got to practice cast for a minute. So I just practiced with nothing there, and I'm throwing exactly where I want to go, like 60 feet,
Yeah.
perfectly fine. But then I get to another fish, and it's the same thing. I like speed up my casting, and then all of a sudden it's like
It's like
that
shooting.
fish is gone.
It's like shooting at the range with your rifle.
Yeah.
And then when there's a deer in front of you.
Yeah.
I know you went through that this year. Like it's a completely
And what's
different-
funny about it too, like for me, is like I'm out there, like I'm paying him,
Mhm.
right? But it's me who has to do the work at the end of the day,
Mhm.
right? And I felt like I was disappointing him more than myself by missing fish. Like I'm paying you, and I feel like I'm disappointing you.
Yeah.
That's where I was at with it, and oh my gosh, dude, I missed one that was like 36 inches, like it was a toad, and he said that it's one of the dumbest fish he's ever seen, and it was just tailing for like 2 or 3 minutes while I'm throwing cast at it.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you cast it, and I'm too far left. So he's like, all right, pick up and go to the right. And I go to the right. He's like, nope, too far right. Now you got to go back left. And like the fish keeps going back left and right. Like they're not just, because their nose is just down in the
Yeah,
mud or
mud.
whatever. And what they do is they actually pin the food or the fly into the mud and eat it that way. So I kept having to pick up and recast. I did it like 5 times in a row. Well, when he actually went to eat, I was just anticipating another pick up and recast.
Yeah.
So I pulled it out when I should have,
Left
set
it.
the hook and left it. And then it's like, bang, that fish was gone. And after that, he was like, that's literally one of the dumbest redfish I've seen in like 15 years of doing this.
I've done that with
I was like,
striper
"Thanks."
fishing. Like you're in a blitz of stripers, and you like. I always get that feeling like I need to do another false cast.
Yeah.
And last year that happened to me several times where I fucked up on catching a fish. One time where I didn't, I was with Garrett and Leah one night, and this was probably one of the better nights of fishing that we had.
Yeah.
And I almost did it, but I stopped. And Garrett, after I caught the fish, he was like, "I thought you were gonna fucking pull that fly out of the water again and false cast it. I was gonna snap your arm."
Yeah. Well, like everybody wants to cast. Like
Yeah.
I see with trout fishing, and it drives me nuts. But then I was just on the other side of it, and I was even making that mistake because I was just out of my element, and I was trying to just
Well,
like,
and
all right, I got to recast again, and then damn.
One thing that you told me, like one of the first times I went fishing with you, what that resonated was you can't catch a fish if your fly's not on the water.
Yeah, just leave your
You know?
fly out there.
Yeah.
Just
So-
leave it. Like let it just sit there. Sometimes in
Yeah.
the current, people hate that. Like if you're truly swinging like soft tackles or whatever, I'm not kidding. I'll leave it out there for a minute and a half. No one has patience for that. Everybody wants to just I'm gonna cast. But I've caught them after leaving it there for a minute, so it's kind of like
and even like
part of the
you
game.
leave them there for a minute and you twitch it or something, and
Yeah,
it
just
makes
snap
that much
jig it
of
or
a
something.
difference.
Yeah,
And I mean,
I know it's a slow game and it's not exciting. It's not sexy.
it's chess, not checkers.
Right.
You know.
Right, but it works,
Yeah.
and it's so fun when they play that little tug of war with you, but that's the one thing I would say fishing with clients is like they don't leave the fly in the water enough.
Yeah.
And you're just casting all day, which means you're going to get hung up in a tree, which means you're probably gonna get a snag here and there.
Yep.
Then we're gonna retie. Like it's just less time that you have a fly in the water.
There's been so many times this year, just fishing stupid stock trout.
Yep.
That where like it gets to the end of the drift and I'm about ready to. It's like fuck it, I'll just leave it, and that's when they ate. And just it pays off. I think to leave it long, twice as long as you think you should.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's probably only 3 seconds.
You been out much this year?
A handful of times, and then it started raining. And now every
What are you
place that
catching the stockies on?
mostly dries, just small.
Oh,
like,
cool.
These are stupid, and just blue duns, light Cahills. I tied some foamants that I had really good luck with last year, but
Yeah.
they didn't want anything to do with them. I think it's just because hasn't been as dry.
I mean, then they just look up.
Yeah.
Stockfish are just used to looking up for their food, right?
One of my favorite flies for stockfish is the Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Fucking love that
Yeah.
fly. For
Yeah.
stockfish, it is pretty much undefeated.
Yeah.
The other one is using some yarn to tie an egg and just
Yeah.
leave the egg like just under the surface there behind a dry or something. They're gonna eat that so much because it literally looks just like a pellet when it's all sopped up and wet like that. So, what are you drinking over there? Some long drinks?
Some long drinks.
For a while.
You want one?
No, I haven't drank beer in 2 years now.
They're not. It's not beer.
It kind of is. I mean, no, it's more hard alcoholish.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I haven't really been drinking much in my life lately. I've just been eating like the same diet and just I feel so much better. It's crazy. It's crazy how much just eating like the same stuff over and over. That's not bad for you.
Consistency.
Yeah, it just makes you feel better. Like
Yeah.
I don't have like crazy horrible bowel movements.
Yeah.
And
Leah was like,
it's great.
"How do you eat this?" Because like I do the same. I like for lunch for the week. I'll
Same
just
shit every day.
I will
right?
cook a fucking whole head of broccoli.
Mhm.
Just throw it in the oven, and then I'll just grill either steak or chicken or whatever.
Yep.
I'll just put it in like 5 containers, and she's like, "How do you do that every day?" I was like, "I could do this every day.
Yeah.
The same fucking dressing on it.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep.
Don't give a shit."
Yep.
She's like, "How?" I'm like, because it doesn't take any thinking.
Well, people get emotional eating food, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like Katie. She'll be like,
there's
"How
time-
we just had that last week." I'm like, I don't care. I love
Yeah.
burgers. Let's have burgers 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, and it's like we talk about it with like, oh, dinner we'll do something different like every night, and I'm like, I could literally eat
Mm-hmm.
steak and
Yeah.
broccoli every fucking day.
Yeah, I
and
know.
nothing else.
I know.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fuck it. I really don't care.
You have the big part, and like I'm trying to teach my kids this, but they just don't get it. Obviously, their age. But I'm like, food is just fuel.
Yeah.
Right? And if you think about it as anything more than that, then that's when you just have all these issues and you're like, I mean, isn't it crazy that you can like literally be like, oh, let's go out to eat, and then you're like, I don't know what I want. There's 40 things on the menu.
Yeah.
You can't pick one out.
Yeah.
It's because you're thinking too much about it. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like you get a craving every now and then, and it's like, all right, I want to go do like sushi tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. But it's
But
also
even
like,
cravings don't hit the spot sometimes, right? You ever go out to eat and you're like, man, every time we go to a spot, I love it, it's great, and then you go out and you're like, that wasn't really what I was hoping it was gonna be, you know?
not that often, because normally when I'm in that mood, I'm going to a place that I know is going to be very consistent.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple of really good places in Portsmouth that it's like, their calamari is always great.
Yeah, it's never bad, right?
It's fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
It's
Or
funny.
like,
I feel that same way, but lately we've been like going to like our go-tos, and then they just suck, and like something's changed. Like we have this Italian restaurant we love going to, and they no longer serve bread at the beginning, and I'm like, are you seriously like cutting cost on bread?
yeah.
Like you've raised your prices on entrees. You can't throw some like a few slices of bread out there. It's
Yeah.
like, I can order the bread now.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
like
paying $13 for fucking pasta with butter, motherfucker. Like,
Right.
give me some bread.
Yeah. I'm not talking 13. I'm talking like $30 for like a chicken marsala. And you're
Yeah,
like,
oh, yeah.
You can't like just throw a slice of bread out there with some butter on it.
Yeah.
Seriously. It's crazy.
I've been to enough fucking sales and trade shows where I do not eat chicken marsala. Like if I order chicken marsala at a restaurant, no, fuck that.
Bad
Because
experience with it.
Because well, they just like every trade show you go to, like where they do a catered lunch.
Yeah.
They have chicken marsala,
That's
lasagna.
the same stuff.
It's like the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
And if I see that on a menu at a restaurant, it's like, no.
You're like, no, I'm
Nope.
good with that. Yeah, it's just funny. Like, this has been our spot literally since we've been dating, even before marriage, right? And then lately we're just like, I don't even want to go back there. I'm like, you're literally not serving bread.
You also live in a part of the
Sucks.
state that I just have zero interest in ever going to ever again.
Well, everybody raves about Biddeford food, which is interesting because I live in Saco.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I live in Saco. But Saco has, like, nothing to eat. Like, downtown
No.
Saco is, like, IHOP and, like, Wendy's. There's not, like, really restaurants, you
No.
know? I mean, we have one breakfast diner, and it's not even that good. It's crazy to me. But then Biddeford has so much stuff, but, like, I don't like going to Biddeford. The traffic's horrible.
Yeah.
There's weird people everywhere.
There's shitheads
Parking's
everywhere.
not great.
French.
You know?
There's a bunch of fucking Canucks.
It's interesting over there, yeah. You know, I was reading this article. I was reading this article. It was like Maine is bracing for a decrease in Canadian tourists this year, and
Celebrating.
I'm like, the hell they are, man. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Because Saco gets overrun with them because they're next to the orchard. They all come
York
to
Beach,
Saco
dude.
and stuff.
York Beach.
Yeah, but here's my point. Let's revisit this in July, and I guarantee it's gonna be just as busy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I have not seen as many Canadian plates around, but it's also still early.
It's
Like,
early still.
Schools are in,
Yeah,
but
give it a month, dude. They'll
I'm
be
fucking fine if they stay. I
Well,
don't
that
give a
was my point. I was like,
Remember when COVID
I'm
kept
just
them
fine
out?
with it.
COVID
Nobody
was
bitched
the
then?
best.
That's great.
I absolutely COVID 2020 summer was the best summer of my life. It was fantastic.
You go to York Beach in the winter. There's lines of fucking sprinter vans, all from Quebec, all from Canada.
To
Yeah.
go
Like,
surfing.
yeah, to come surfing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I mean, that was before the whole tariff thing or whatever. but-
Right. Well, and listen, Jerry's gonna be out in like 2 months here, so we'll see. But I was reading the article and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll believe that when I see it. I guarantee they'll be here in droves.
They'll still be here.
Yeah, I mean, what's really different? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Your emotions.
Hey, guess what? Even when gas was $5 a gallon, this fucking town was fucking packed with
Yeah.
goddamn
Yeah.
people.
But listen, gas is going down, right?
Yeah.
It's not like the cost of goods have changed really at all. My groceries are still expensive as shit, as they have been for
Yeah.
the last 2 years or whatever.
Everything's so expensive. Like,
Yeah. I mean, listen, do you think a company is just going to drop prices on something because of who
No.
the president is?
100%.
No, if people are paying it, they're going to charge it. They don't care.
Exactly.
They don't care who the president. The
I'm
president
selling-
doesn't dictate the prices of your stuff in your country.
I had my
as much as
largest
people
sale ever of commercial mowers this year, and it was over $300,000.
think. Mhm.
Like,
Because people pay it.
yeah,
And why would a
Because they
company
needed to make money.
back off on
You
prices? You know, they're not going to. No, that's crazy. I don't want to talk politics. Politics is so stupid. But
yeah. Let's get back to fishing.
fishing is it's the season. I was saying we should be fishing tonight, not podcasting. But
I almost just said fuck it and hooked the boat up and was like,
when are
fuck
you
it.
gonna start?
Not this weekend.
Yeah.
We're gonna hopefully start our weekly fishing.
Weekly fishing was gonna start tomorrow night, except my oldest daughter is in the fucking. They have a performance, and she's got like 3 solos, so I probably
This is dance.
no, singing and recorders for
Oh.
4th grade.
Is she gonna do Amazing Grace?
Did you see that?
No.
She played Amazing Grace
Yeah.
over the bathroom toilet while we flushed her fucking
Oh, I did
fish.
see that. I'm sorry, I didn't listen to it, but I saw the
Yeah.
The
caption.
greatest
That was
thing
funny.
ever.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I mean, only if she could know tax.
Okay, so
I-
York is doing recorders still. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like since the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in Saco, 3rd grade, there's no recorders. Guess what the one instrument they can play is? Take
Drum.
one guess and take one guess.
Drums.
No,
Ukulele.
no, it's a violin.
Oh,
So
good.
they're starting kids off. Like, I had a stupid little recorder, and my daughter starting off with a violin. I'm like, isn't that like level 7 or something?
Yeah.
You know, isn't that Isn't that a little advanced?
That's pretty affluent for you guys up there.
I'm a little surprised myself. Yeah, it's crazy though because now you have 3rd through 5th graders playing it, and then middle school kids and high school kids, and like the high school kids are dope violin players at Thornton Academy because that's what they've been playing. They didn't start on recorders.
I mean,
I was shocked.
Let's see how. Now I want to see how that correlates to their athletics. Like, let's look at this 5 years from now. Does their football team suck because they lost everybody to play the violin?
No, the problem now is, I know you guys live down here in southern York County. I'm in northern York County, there, right? But Thornton Academy, still called TA, but they're calling it Transfer Academy, because what's happening is all of the stud players from all the towns around are all coming to TA, and the reason is they used to all go to Chevers.
Yep.
But when Chevers started accepting girls and it was no longer an all-boys school, their boys enrollment dropped. There are now more girls than boys that go there. And their girls'
Chevers was an
sports
all-boys school.
It was, yeah, until Catherine Macaulay closed in the maybe like 10 years ago.
I never knew that.
Yeah, Macaulay closed. That was all girls. And so a couple years later, Chevers opened up to girls, and now they're dominating a lot of girls' sports. But the boys' sports is crazy. They have like 8-man football. They can't even field a football team anymore.
No shit.
Because now all those kids are going to TA, and that's why TA is like dominating stuff. But if you're a Saco resident and like your kids grow up there or whatever, it's like my buddy's son plays baseball. He's a good pitcher. You know, he throws like mid to high 80s, and he's number 4 in the rotation because there's a kid from Wales and a kid from Kennybunk, a kid from somewhere else that are like studs, and they all just join together. And
no shit.
If you know anything about high school baseball, I mean, you don't really throw your 4th pitcher very often.
No.
It's like your 1 and 2 just keep switching
all
season. So it's interesting that has,
because your 3rd and 4th pitcher also plays shortstop.
But Thornton's weird. It's a private public school, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Saco High School, but you can pay to go there, and it's like $40,000 a year. Well, it's the same as like, I don't think Chevers is 40, but people are forking it up. Which
I guess
I
never.
It's so weird though.
Listen, when I was in high school, we played Thornton.
You played Thornton, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a stud from York, though, dude, stay in York and be a stud and like try to get
you're gonna get more looks like that from
so
a school.
It's so LeBron. It's like a LeBron move. Like, let's all just move everybody together and
really
dominate that way.
To be honest, it's the parents that are driving it, and because the parents don't also understand the process, because like, you know, maybe some of them do, but like, are those kids playing, you know, travel, you know, for other teams in the summer, like down in Mass, down in Cape and stuff, and it's like, now Maine is very hurting in the fact of like versus the soccer world.
Yeah,
like Maine has like maybe 5 private clubs. I could send my daughter down here to 5 different clubs and not drive any further.
Right, in the northern Mass or
northern Mass, even Seacoast.
Yeah,
like
Seacoast is huge.
Seacoast is huge. They have 5 different campuses now. Like,
they're even big with baseball.
Yeah, they're doing baseball. They're doing field hockey. They're doing lacrosse. They're doing every sport. Basketball. They've got a whole basketball indoor center.
I just see these kids also playing one sport, and like, listen, no one's going to like, you know, all right, Cooper Flag, one kid, but like, no one's going to like all these big schools from Maine. Like you looked at the NFL draft a couple weeks ago, and they showed like the number of kids drafted from what states they're from, and there was 0 from Maine, 0 from New Hampshire, 0 from Vermont, 0 from Massachusetts, 0 from Rhode Island. It was just like, that's all of pretty much New England besides Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
It's like, that's it. And no one was drafted. And it's just like, well, yeah, we don't really have that high of a caliber up here. So why are kids leaving their hometown to go play football at Thornton Academy?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, are you really creating better competition by doing that? No.
No, you're just smashing teams and you're up 50 at halftime.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anybody any good. No one gets better that way.
Right.
Nobody.
It's the same thing we deal with who we play in soccer. It's like, I would rather travel. Like,
yeah.
I would
smashing a team.
I would rather drive an hour to go up and play in fucking Waterville. Whatever.
Like, it also teaches, in my eyes, it like, take a kid that doesn't have the money to go to a different school, but he's at Thornton now. He's on the football team, and he's got all these kids. He doesn't get any playing time because all these other kids are playing.
Yep.
it's going to do one or two things. He's going to act like he's the best, or he's going to fucking hate the sport because he has a bad experience.
Well, that's what I hear. It was like, oh, you live in Greater Portland, Southern Maine, whatever. It's like there's more opportunities. I'm like, well, not really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my neighbor's kid there, same kid. He's good at golf. In his freshman year, he didn't make the JV team. He shot a 44-45 on his tryout days.
Yeah.
And this coach said, if you literally went to any other school in the area, even in the same conference,
Yeah.
he's like, you'd be mid JV, maybe even varsity on some teams, and you
Yeah.
couldn't even make the TA team. I'm like, so where's your opportunity then, right? Where are these magical opportunities I keep hearing about when you have 50 kids trying out for the basketball team? You know, it's like that's not an opportunity. 38 kids aren't going to play.
Well, and that's what I try and like. So that's been like our goal for the soccer club is like, look, for York Soccer Club, we are building teams for the high school.
Exactly.
We are building skills for the high school.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Right.
I want to develop the kids to be able to step onto a field and not lose to fucking Trape.
Right.
Like,
and you want to bring
yeah.
York a gold ball.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, sure. But
That's
I
a big
just
part of it.
Yeah. But I don't want to lose to Trape or Wells ever again. Like I watched like it took a part of my soul last fall watching the York boys soccer team lose to Trape and just walk off the field like nothing happened. I was like, you would have had to replace either my hand or the goalpost because I would have broken both.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that. You don't lose to your fucking neighboring school. I'm sorry.
You guys are. It's cool that you're very like. You went to York. You live in York. You want your kids to go to York. You want to see them do well in York.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in Westbrook. I don't want my kids going to school in Westbrook.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't want them seeing crack cocaine.
Well, I mean, that's how
Okay with
my
that.
wife is. Like, she grew up in Oxford.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be in Oxford.
She doesn't even want to go like see friends. She doesn't like when we like going back when we were in college. They'd be like, oh, stop at Hannaford, grab some stuff for your mom or whatever. And she's like, I don't want to go in. I don't want to see anyone from high school. I was like, I literally come in, walk into the bar at home. I'm like, what's up, everybody?
Right. It's so different.
It's like
Yeah.
I'm like we had a very different experience of where we
The
grew
same
up.
thing with me in school for the most. Like there's still a lot of people I see that I don't care to see, but the ones that I do that are still around, it's like it's fine. And I wouldn't mind my kids going to Marshwood. It's not a bad school system. And I mean, obviously, I didn't take it to its full fulfillment, but
Hey, you got out.
I graduated barely.
I'm stoked to see our new athletic facility when it's done.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
$8 million new track, new field, new
Outdoor.
yeah,
Yeah,
all artificial.
that's awesome.
And people in town are like, well, grass is better to play on, and I'm like, it's not. When you have the amount of teams and the amount of use that the fucking football field could get.
Yep.
I'm like, at this point, I would rather take all the fields that the Parks and Rec own and pay to have them made turf. Why? Because, I don't know, we've had 17 inches of fucking rain this spring.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's less
And
maintenance.
can't play.
It's less stress on the municipality to take care of it. Like it's everything. Like I get it. It's
All right, you're a soccer guy. I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm a big football guy. Obviously, you know that. But I was a big soccer guy in 8th grade. I was in 7th grade playing the 8th grade team. Like I was a good little striker.
Yeah.
But I tore my groin so bad my 8th grade year, and I just couldn't play anymore. So that's I ended up switching because of that, which is kind of interesting. Did like soccer a lot when I was a kid, and my wife's a big soccer player. But what do you think of this new Maine team, the Hearts of
This
Pines?
is gayer than AIDS.
and this is why we don't have more than 70 listeners.
Yeah.
well, where is the name coming from? First of all, and
Portland.
then
It's
just
they had like
Portland.
It's just like a
fucking
soccer league.
So gay.
I don't even
No,
know what league it is. It's like a league below
it's the-
MLS, right?
It's the USL 1, which so there's the USL 2. There's actually going to be another one after below the USL 2. But like USL 2 is there for college players to play all summer, basically,
Yeah.
is what it is. So
It's like a
Seacoast
college 8 league.
Yes.
Is that like the one here in Portland?
No, so
No.
Seacoast has a team in there. Like
Yeah.
they just recruit the fuck out of these
I
kids
gotcha.
come live on the seacoast,
Yeah.
play for us. They actually won the national championship last year, which was dope.
Cool.
They have baseball teams like that too.
Yeah, it's similar to like the Cape Cod League is what like USL 2 is. USL 1 is, which is what Hearts of Pine is in.
But that's a step up.
Is a step up,
technically.
yeah, because they're paid players.
Is there a step between there and the MLS?
No,
So that's kind of it.
yeah. So then you got to go to the MLS, which I'm sorry, but like, I watched the highlights from like their exhibition thing they did up in Lewiston.
Yeah.
The fucking goalie on the other team was bigger than me, and I was like, "What are we doing here?"
That's interesting.
He was just like, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Not Tim Howard-esque.
No, Round Howard.
Round Howard.
But it was like, and I mean, they've definitely got, they've got a following now. I mean, Maine doesn't have any good soccer to go watch legitimately within from Orono down. Like, Orono is the best soccer you will see
Yeah.
for the state. There's no other D1 college.
Yeah.
So like you've got Bates, Bowdoin, Colby.
Is Orono like
UNE.
good at soccer though? Because like in baseball,
They actually are. They're
in baseball, like USM used to like beat up on them.
Yeah,
which
they
is
actually
crazy.
they're pretty good. I mean, like the USM soccer team is garbage.
Yes.
It's wild to me to see the
Hold on, my little
changes.
cousin plays. So I'm sorry, bud. But yes.
It's wild to see the changes in college sports since I was in college.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm still friends with the coach at Maine Maritime, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going on a recruiting trip down to Maryland." I was like, "For what? You're a D3 dog shit school in Castine, Maine." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I get these guys to come." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
That's crazy.
I'm like, "We had a kid from Alaska who didn't know what a soccer ball looked like when he fucking showed up on campus." I'm like, "Sick."
Nice. So are you gonna go to any of these Hearts of Pine games?
So actually, we are going to one next weekend.
All right. I feel like it's gonna be the experience there. It looks very like crunchy to me. Like drinking IPAs, probably some fancy latte things going on.
It's all things
Garrett
I'm
loves
into.
all of those things.
Yeah.
If you're trying to dissuade him, IPA
So,
and
hold on,
fancy
so-
coffee
so-
drinks are not going to do it.
But you don't like Portland.
I fucking hate Portland.
You like the things that most. That's very Portland though, dude. It's all about the breweries and
Yeah.
the food and stuff.
It's just so I will put up with those types of people while they serve me my beverages, and that's all I want to see from them.
You're not going to get a better coffee than somebody that's got blue hair.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know. But
Yeah, I
I've
forget
heard
that
that
you
one
don't drink
before.
coffee.
Yeah, I've heard that before. So
I'm not a fan of Portland. I'm not a fan of.
I can't tell you the last time I went to Portland.
We were up there not that long ago, and the girls are like, "Oh, what are all those tents over there?" I was like, "People that just don't give a fuck about themselves."
they're like, "Oh, nice, Dad."
Yeah.
Parenting.
Yeah.
That's parenting. You're saying that's not something you want to do.
You don't want to aspire to live in a tent on the side of 295.
All right, let's get back to fishing. I have a question.
What do we got?
So last year, I think probably one of the last times you were on the podcast, you talked about some of the stuff that you were helping out with on the Andro.
Oh yeah.
What kind of data? How did everything kind of play out with that?
So if you haven't heard this before, basically, I'm part of Sebago TU.
Mhm.
I was not a big like Trout Unlimited guy because when I used to go when I was like in my 20s, I'd go to like a meeting and it would be a bunch of old dudes hanging out, having a potluck, and like looking at pictures of fishing in like
Nothing against potluck.
Patagonia or something. And I'm like, what does this have to do with our local waters or whatever? So, I'm not like super passionate about stuff around Portland
Yeah.
or like southern Maine because a lot of it, there's a lot of stocked water, and yeah, there's some like wild stuff down here for sure. There's more than people think actually, but I was kind of really curious about the Andro, and for when I say Andro, I mean like the upper part of Andro in Maine, and where trout can actually still live. I knew there was like wild browns in there, like because I've caught them, right?
Yeah.
They're just like way bigger than the ones they stock, so they're obviously holding over. And I started getting curious, like, are they spawning? Are they like able to like thrive here, what else is like wild in here, you know? So, anyways, I kind of joined with TU, and the cool thing about TU is if you have like a passion project, they'll be like, yep, go for it. Let's get it on the docket, you know? And like,
Yeah.
to me, that's cool. You'll have some people who might jump on you, or you might have to kind of run things yourself, you know? But anyways, I got a few people who are really interested in the Androscoggin, and we're working with Maine Inland Fishery and Wildlife to kind of study, like, do they need to keep stocking as heavily as they are?
Yeah.
Right? And we did talk about this last year. And what we did last spring with them was we took biologists out on a float, and we had 6 boats. Each boat had 1 or 2 biologists on it, and we caught, I think between 6 boats, we caught like 160 fish that day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was funny, the biologists all showed up, like I thought it was just gonna be like 3 or 4 of them, but there was like 10, 12 of them, and
Which is awesome.
Yeah, but they were so excited to just like have a day to be like rowed down a river and be fishing. And but most of them showed up with spin gear and absolutely just slayed it. I mean, they were out fishing. People were fly fishing like 5 to 1, but they were like little kids, which was funny to see. It was pretty cool. We got data back from that day, and we even knew like that day kind of what was going on. But 40% of the fish caught that day, I think it was around 40%, were all wild rainbow trout, which means there's like a thriving
Population.
Yeah, I don't know if thriving's not a great word, but there's a decent enough population of rainbows in there. So it was cool. We caught fish. We had buckets on board, and we had these like trays that you put them in, and it measures them, and then they just take a little scalpel and grab a scale off them and mark it and stuff, and then they go back and study all that. And you know, like, hats off to them. Like, they studied 160 scale samples over the summer, fall, or whatever, to kind of see what was there. Last summer, when it was like hot, the fish all move in the tributaries. They don't really stay in the main stem. It's too warm. So they did some electroshocking, which was also really cool because they found like a wild brown trout that was like 6 miles upstream.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and it was like 18 inches, and just sitting in a stream that's like 3 feet across, you know. And the electroshocking is interesting because it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's a giant like hoop, and they just stick it in the water, and it can basically like only shock up things that are within the diameter of that hoop.
Yeah.
Right. It might only be like 6 feet across or something. So you kind of keep dipping it into different spots, but like everything floats up. It's kind of cool. It's like sculpin, and there's like.
So you learn a lot about the.
I can't think of what they're called. Oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. What are the freshwater crabs? Crawfish. Sorry.
Crawfish.
But like those floated up, right? It was just cool to see like how much fish traveled and stuff or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The fall we were gonna do another float, and we couldn't pull the same people together, and they did a small one. I don't know the data from that one. We're doing a float with them in 2 weeks, and when I say float, we're doing 3 different sections. And there's 2 boats in every section. My only qualm with it is that they've started stocking. And I think if you want to sit here and use your common sense button, I think it makes more sense to try to float before they stock it.
Yeah.
Because then you know what's really kind of there.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're not just messing with stocked fish all day, you know, which were pretty abundant last time we went fishing. But the big argument I see is that if you have that many wild rainbows in there, why do you need to stock rainbow trout?
Yeah.
And the ones they do stock suck.
Yeah.
They don't fight. They're like yeah, okay, it's 18 inches, cool, but you can reel it in like 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And they look weird. Their fins are all off. They're also different looking too. They just look strange.
Yeah.
It's not a good strain that they use, but it's what they got, and it's cost effective, whatever. And yeah, they're easy to catch. But to me, I'm like, go do that somewhere else then.
Yeah.
You know, like go do that in the Presumpscot where you don't have wild fish populations, right?
Right. And you're never going to. So.
Yeah. So go put them in there. You know,
Yeah.
but there's no rainbows in the Presumpscot, which I'm like, that's weird too. They just throw all those little junk rookies in there. But it's very interesting working with the people who stock the fish to kind of be like, hey, we want you to stop stocking the fish.
Yeah.
right? And you know, if the science proves it, then we have an argument with them, and maybe someone will come out of it. But to be honest with you, do I think someone's going to come out of it? Probably not, because it's all bureaucrats, you know, and it's all just about stocking. It's not really about habitat management, which
it's
is
about money,
which is what it should be, right? But it's not, and it's not that the biologists don't want that. It's just that this is above their pay grade. It's turned into a business, not a conservation type, you know, part of government. So.
Well, and it sucks that they don't like spend the money to go get like good stocked fish, because there are places around that they could partner with to get a different strain, a better fish.
Yeah.
Like you look at like the
Three Rivers.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, Three Rivers does a fucking phenomenal job stocking.
Right.
And like they take pride in it. Same thing with down in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Like
but in Three Rivers, and I don't know a lot about Three Rivers, but in Three Rivers, is there wild fish in there?
Yes.
So do they need to keep stocking it? Because I know it's a huge stocking.
I think
area,
they follow. I don't think they're as big as.
They don't stock nearly as much as Maine does.
And I think they look at the data, and I may be wrong on this, and adjust towards it, you know, to what they need to do.
I mean, that seems logical, right?
Yeah.
In the world. Yeah, I just don't, like, you talk about strains. It's interesting, like a brown trout strain they use now. Not a good river fish. It's a good coastal river fish, and that's what's turned all this, like, you guys, you know, there's sea run browns here in York County now, right?
Yeah.
What's crazy, though, is that same strain that they're using also thrives really well in ponds and lakes.
Yeah.
Like, you see these dudes who are trolling and they catch, like, a 30-inch brown. I mean, that's a holdover fish, and they're not stocking that 30 inches.
Right.
So they're able to thrive. My big question is, are they really spawning? I don't know. They did find, up in the Indro, though, it's kind of cool, they did find one out of the electroshocking they did. They found one brown trout that was like 4 or 5 inches. So that's absolutely wild, right? They're not stocking. The smallest ones they stock are 13 inches. So
Right.
that's wild. Now, those are good numbers of them, not based on that, but it's possible. It's happening, which is cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I mean, the Andro was abused for so many years that, you know, how many more years of like cleanup and like just letting nature do its own thing does it have left to like actually produce good quality water? You know what I mean?
It's crazy. That river up in that area is wild because it's 100 yards wide.
Yeah.
But it's all just gravel bottom. There's no boulders. There's no logs. There's no grass for bugs to be like living in. And it's because it's got to be the gradient of up there or whatever. When there's big storms, it just gets like scoured.
Yeah.
But we were talking with Inland Fishery Wildlife. I'm like, listen, what would you do to improve like the cold water refuge habitats up there, right? And it was like, let's put in giant root balls. Let's put in giant boulders, right? And I'm like, well, how do you do that? And it's like, well, you get like the Army Corps of Engineers, and they get like a helicopter, and they can like fly it in and drop it in there. And I'm like, so it is possible. It's just not where our licensed dollars are going to.
Right.
And that needs to be done by grassroots organizations, and we're just not there in terms of like but I'm like, that's where I want to go, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is TU ever going to be like, all right, here's your helicopter, go fucking fly some fucking rocks?
It's a lot of red tape to get there.
Right.
Like I don't even know the channels because we've never done it here, but it's been done in other places in the country. Yeah. So like, why can't we do that here? You know, and Maine's very archaic in terms of like progressive stuff like that.
They're 40 years
Which
behind.
we all love archaic though, right? Like, we're like, I don't want change. Like, that's a big thing about Mainers. They don't want changes. However, there are some things that need some progressiveness added to them. So,
well, I mean, it's like they came out with the fucking kill tournaments for togue on Sebago, and it's like, why? You put them there.
Right.
Let those fucking fish thrive.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get a salmon back in that fucking lake.
No, it's almost like it's lost, you know.
Manage it.
Yeah, just
manage it.
You manage your chaos,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's the same thing with, you know, predatory fish that were put into places that they shouldn't have been. But like, you know, you've got what's the fucking lake up by Ian? that has pike all
Belgrade.
No,
Sabatis.
Sabatis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sabatis Pond. Like,
Yeah.
embrace the pike. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Like-
Sabatis used to have trophies and should have trophies, but now it doesn't because everyone's encouraged to kill them,
Right.
and you're not leaving breeding fish in there, right? Like
Right.
you're just culling out the big stuff, and it's manage it for what it is, right?
Yeah.
It'd be sweet. The striper thing to me is still wild. That like all of this science and data points to just a horrible class. You know, that 2015 class. And yet here we are, and there's monster fish around everywhere, right? And everyone's like, it's great. But I mean, I haven't caught a micro in like in 2 years, and I did catch more like 3 years ago.
I caught 2 last
We
year.
caught a bunch last year, and it's just where they are.
Yeah.
And now, are they in the numbers that they should be? Maybe not. But I have a problem with where, and I've said this, and I said it to James too, and I said it to Kyle.
Now, I know you feel differently about it than like all of like the. Because
Oh,
we see all that
100%.
ASGA stuff all
Yeah.
over the internet. And,
But they are all basing their numbers off of Chesapeake.
yeah,
That is it.
yeah.
So,
But what percent of stripers traditionally come from Chesapeake, right?
well, traditionally, that's where they've always come from.
Yeah.
And this gets back to the whole progressive versus things changing
Yeah.
and not wanting to change anything. So it's like, okay, but what's the Hudson like now?
Yeah.
The Hudson's a great tributary. Like,
Yeah.
we've cleaned it up. It's no longer the way it is. So how many fish are stopping there and not making it back to the Chesapeake?
Back in the heyday, like the 90s, like when it got really good after the moratorium.
Yeah.
Because then, how long was the moratorium they had, do you know?
I don't know.
I think it was 7. Was it 7 years?
Is it
No.
that long?
Well, I mean, even growing up, though, like growing up in town, my father grew up here,
Yeah.
never once caught a striper in his entire life.
Is it because they weren't here? Cause
They were
couldn't
not
fish
here.
for 'em?
They had bluefish,
Yeah.
but there were no stripers.
Now there's no bluefish.
Now there's barely any bluefish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy how that works.
It's and that's where I'm like, okay. I just have a problem, and really my skepticism leads back to the waterfowl world because I know way more about it, and just like how Maine and the East Coast fucked up everything with what they were
Yeah.
doing science-wise
Yeah.
until they were called out on, hey, you're looking at 3 fucking ponds and you're basing your entire season on 3 ponds.
Yeah.
That's it. You won't go look anywhere else. So, what the fuck are you telling me here?
I mean, I just feel like I feel sad. I feel like I'm like late to the party, like just getting stripers, and I don't know those. Like, listen, there are guys who go and guide, and they've guided for years, and they're out there every single day, and they're like, man, I used to be able to just get people out here, and there'd be birds busting bait all over the place, like 3 times we could go hit, and now it's like I might get one day like that every 2 weeks, and it used to be like every day.
I mean, we
So I
had
hear those guys, right?
we had a summer of that last summer.
Last year,
Oh, it was
The
fucking
birds,
it was
yeah.
fucking insane.
yeah, just birds everywhere, right?
And birds everywhere. We had pogies everywhere. I mean, mackerel numbers were down a little bit.
Yeah,
They were still findable, but you didn't even really have to. The pogies were in so fucking thick, and
well,
they
dude, that's
stayed.
the hard part right now. Is like there's this message. Let's get down to basics, right? There's this message out there that's like, listen, guys, I know the fishing's really good right now. Like, there's really big stripers around, right? But they're saying there's no little ones. So it's just like once those older ones die off, there's no little ones coming around. But it's really hard when you just go out and you're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. It's so good out here. Like,
It's not only that, but I mean, like, and I don't know if it's. I think it's more the bigger fish are pushing the little fish to different places too, like when all the fish are here.
yeah,
Because like where we caught smaller fish last year, the biggest fish I caught out of there was maybe 24.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that the bigger fish are taking over spots where the little ones used to be?
Correct.
Has like the bait changed then where it's going?
I
We
don't
were
think
seeing
the
bait last year. We were seeing schools of pogies in Spruce Creek.
Yeah.
That we like up in Spruce Creek
Like-
that we've never seen before. Like this type
the bait was just chaos last year, but
Yeah.
and I mean I don't think you're ever going to lose where you have bait fish to begin with, and it's just who is where on in the terms of like where they're going.
Yeah.
Now, like the night that you were talking about with Leah and you and
Yeah.
we sat on that corner up there and watched fish bust water
Yeah.
for fucking 2 hours.
Their backs out of the water. Like,
I mean,
Well, like I know guys who guide down on the Cape.
stripers.
That guide on the Cape, and
Yeah.
they're not really fly guys. I mean, they do some fly fishing, but they're mostly charters, and they're just like, I don't understand what everybody's making a big fuss about. I mean, it's just as good today as it was 10 years ago.
I legitimately there were people that I was talking to last year that were like, yeah, we're seeing big fish, but we're not seeing small fish. And I'm like, I saw more small fish to the boat last year.
Yeah.
And big fish to the boat. I mean, I caught fucking 4 fish over 50 last year.
Yeah.
Like, it was on spin gear, but
my brain doesn't know what to think because you have your own observations, right? Just like you guys do.
Yeah.
You have people you talk to's opinions, and then you have this whole East Coast kind of movement, right? Where people are trying to say it's really good or it's not really good. And then I ran into a guy last year in Kennebunk, and I chatted with him for quite a while, and he said he's been fishing literally the same spots, same type of season, just like we do for trout and whatnot, right? And he's like, I've been doing this since 1995 or something like that, right? So he's like 30 years, and he's like the last 2 years, he's like my fish numbers have been way down. This dude keeps track of every fish he catches in terms of count and then size. Like those are the two things he measures, right? And he said that in like 21 and 22, he caught like 450 fish in the spring in these two spots. Like this dude goes every single day. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same type of tides or same time of day, whatever it is. And he's like, they were between 16 and 24 inches. And then he was like, last year he's like, I only caught 180 in that same size in the same spots. So like, I also hear that like that's an experienced dude who fishes almost 7 days a week.
yeah.
And it's like
the conspiracy part of my brain is like, are these, I don't want this to come off as, because I don't necessarily mean it like this, are these guides and all like these ASGA guys saying this shit to maybe reel back on people
Being out there?
Like,
I don't know.
Is it a possibility?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's almost like the guys. There was like people in like Trout Unlimited across the country, state, whatever, who were like, "Hey, we should be pushing smallmouth fishing to like take pressure off of trout fishing."
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a really interesting look when you're called Trout Unlimited. Telling people to fish for smallmouth all the time.
It is, but it's also like, I
It's
don't.
all fucked up.
I don't think ASGA is doing that.
Right.
But I think ASGA's biggest push, honestly, is because they were pissed off that the rec and like non-commercial side of like striper fishing was
getting blamed,
and the commercial guys were just left completely alone.
Yeah.
So I think that has part of their fire in it, where they're like, fuck this, fuck you guys, we're going to make it as bad as we can, we're going to find the worst data we can to try and cut back on the guys that are just literally going out there to kill fish.
Yeah.
And I mean, you hear the stuff where they're like, oh, well, the mortality rate from rec anglers is way higher than commercial, and it's like, the fuck it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
no, it's not.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't know who put that out. I don't know if the commercial fucking fisheries banded together to come up with that line
It's
and how it got
it's
distributed.
commercial for a reason.
Yeah. You're
like,
killing.
Yeah.
Like,
Look at like when we did your bachelor trip.
yeah.
Like those guys were commercial fishermen. They just brought us along to get a little extra money, and they kept all the big fish to sell.
Yeah.
Now, when you say, and this is where I'm uneducated here, and I've heard both terms before, but are you lumping commercial in with charter?
No.
Okay.
No. So
Because charter guys do some damage in terms of
they do.
They bring a party out, 6, 10, 8 people, whatever, and they try to get everybody a keeper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's 8 fish. Well, if there's like a dozen dudes doing that every day, those numbers can add up over time.
Is ASGA lumping charters in with commercial?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so. I just didn't know the difference. So
No,
there's
so-
like a legit commercial fishery
Yeah.
where they're like
Yes.
catching them and then selling them for like to restaurants.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, I never knew about it until we went on your
It's-
bachelor party.
I mean,
Yeah.
Maine does not have
yeah,
a commercial
Maine doesn't
fishery.
have it, but Massachusetts does.
Massachusetts does.
And I think here's my confusion. Like my cousin was telling me he went out in like the Hudson and he works in New York, and he's like, yeah, we went out striper fishing with a guy. It was like a charter, and he's like, and we caught 3 keeper fish, and like none of us wanted to keep it, but he was adamant we did. And then like at the end of it, he's like, he just kept them, and then I think he just sold them to restaurants or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, funny enough, the one that my cousin caught that the guy kept had a heroin needle in it.
Oh, sick.
And I was like, oh, that's a good one to be serving in downtown Manhattan. There.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
That's a $26 fish fillet.
Yeah, right.
Well, and like, I mean, the Hudson's still
Can you
gross.
imagine catching a fish with a heroin needle?
It's probably all those fish in the Saco, fucking
Oh my
Yeah.
that
God.
area.
They talk about the drugs in the water affecting fish. People flushing drugs.
Yeah.
I'm like, for real? Like,
Yeah,
are
I've
people
heard that.
flushing drugs that often? I don't know anybody who flushes.
They say in
drugs.
Florida, like, it could affect alligators because all the
So
fucking
crazy.
drugs and shit down there.
The old cocaine alligator.
It's wild.
That is wild. Hey, here's my other thing with Maine, though. It's like, selfishly, I'm starting to get into it, and I'm like, of course, when I get into it, they're starting to talk about moratoriums. Of course, I'm thinking about buying a boat, and then all of a sudden, there'll be a moratorium, and then, like, there's literally nothing to fish for. You know, like,
Find
if there's no striper fishing allowed, like, what are you fishing for then? Like, you can't fish our coast.
No.
There's nothing else out there.
No.
Not in good numbers.
And that was one of the reasons why I held it off so long for buying a boat.
Really? Because you were worried about a moratorium?
No, because it was just, I got spoiled throughout my mid-20s of
Yeah.
just going to the Keys.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And, I mean, we would go to the Keys every year for 2 weeks, and it's like,
Florida's wild, dude. It's
all right,
everywhere.
so we can go catch mahi, tuna, sailfish. We can catch yellowtail on the reef on the way in. We can catch barracuda for fucking fun. And then you can catch wahoo. And you've got sushi. You've got fucking
Yep.
tuna tartare. And you've got grilled yellowtail.
No, it's amazing. I get it.
And
I get it.
it's like, what do I want to do here? Just go target one fucking fish for the whole day and catch
Right.
fucking 3?
Right.
Like, fuck that. I'd kill myself.
It is cool to travel though and see other fisheries in like the country, right? And
It's-
then
yeah.
you come back to Maine and you're like, man, I've always thought this was so good, but it's not. It's not anything. And then some places you're like, this is so much better than where I just was, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Well, and it is what it is for, like, that area. Like, going out to Colorado was dope. Like,
Yeah.
Colorado's really cool to fish.
yeah.
But
Well,
also,
how about we went down to New York last year? We're an hour and a half from New York City.
Yeah.
We didn't see anybody for 2 or 3 days wherever we were there.
Yeah.
And just smoking wild brown trout left and right. And then you come back to Maine and you go fish by any bridge where there's a river and there's like 6 dudes standing right next to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I was just literally an hour and a half from New York City
well,
catching wild browns left and right.
even catching the stocked browns when Heath and I went to the beaver kill. Like,
Yeah, there's no one around.
there's nobody around. Like, the
Yeah.
only dudes that were on that river were sitting up in town in lawn chairs on the fucking spin fishing
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, but
And they're
it's
having a
not
great
like
day.
here where everybody's just jammed in and you're like, how is it I'm literally an hour and a half away from the biggest city on the East Coast
Yeah.
and I'm not seeing anybody, and then I'm like way up in the woods in Maine and there's just people crawling everywhere.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you
Wow.
pull up to the fucking bridge on 16 and it's like, oh, there's 9 trucks here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I know.
And then you
And it's-
keep,
and
then
it's
you start
38 degrees
you
outside.
start going up north, going north on 16, and you're like, oh, look, there's 6 trucks there. All right, fuck that. So
Crazy, man. It's crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know like the answer with all that stuff. It just blows my mind that like I could go buy real estate in the Catskills there for cheaper than Maine, right? And you're really
And have-
so close to New York City
and have legitimately way better fishing.
unbelievable fishing for most of the year, and they start fishing earlier and they can fish later there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's cool. It's like what 4 hours from here too. Like it wasn't that far.
No.
My only problem is that New York is literally
Accessible.
well, the police enforcement there may as well be literally the Gestapo.
Yeah.
I can't. For those of you listening, I can't legally drive in New York right now because I got a speeding ticket for $280 and I paid the ticket, but they also send you what's called a DRA. It's a driver responsibility assessment, and you have to pay it alongside your ticket if you want to have your license not suspended. And it was $300. So they're charging me almost $600 for a 20.
They got rid of the mob, but they still have extortion.
Right, and here's the other thing. It's like 55 mile an hour on the highway there. Like, come on, dude. It's 70 here in Maine. Like, there's nobody around. I'm going 75 and a 55. Like, you kidding me? I wasn't even thinking about it, you know. And then now I'm like not legally allowed to drive in the state, and I'm like, well, screw you. I don't want to
Forever?
I don't know. It's like I'm suspended.
He's gonna forget about this and be down there with one of your daughters
it's
for
gonna
like a
suck.
fucking
A
basketball
violin
game.
event.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get to like whatever it is, Waterbury, Connecticut, and whoever's with me. I'm like, hey, get in, you're driving.
Yeah.
Let's get to New York.
I don't have a license. Well, neither do I.
Yeah. It's just wild to me, dude, that it's like, how do you charge somebody a speeding ticket that's a pretty hefty fine, and then be like, oh, by the way, you have to do this on top. So I asked people I know in New York, I'm like, what do you do when you get a speeding ticket? And they're like, oh, it's easy. You just go to court, and you they basically just make you pay like a $150 fine. It doesn't put any points in your license. It doesn't show up as
Money.
a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
It's
all
just
money.
extortion, dude. It's literally
Yeah.
extortion. And I'm like, well, I'm not driving down New York and playing this extortion game. So I'm like, screw you. The only thing I'm mad about was paying that other ticket. I shouldn't even pay it in the first place. I'm suspended either way, so screw it.
Does it fuck with your license in Maine, though?
No, it doesn't. And that's the other thing is like the officer's like, you're gonna want to pay this because it may mess with your license in Maine or whatever. And I was like, okay. And that's like what worried me about it. But now
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not doing anything. My insurance hasn't gone up. I don't have points on my license here in Maine or whatever. And I'm like, because I have a buddy who's a cop. I'm like, hey, can you look this up for me? And he's like, it doesn't even show up in our system. I'm like, okay, awesome.
Thank God.
That's great. But I'm also like, I don't know. I just can't believe that about a state like that. And New York is devil town, but they do some pretty cool, like remote stuff that you're like
There's a lot of places in New York that are pretty cool.
crazy
You
remote.
get out of the
Yeah.
city,
Yeah.
and
You
it's
can have cell phone service for 2 days. or
Exactly.
whatever.
I mean, yeah, the Catskills area is just such a forgotten area, and to like be like the birth of fly fishing, and to see as little people as we did. I mean, Heath and I,
Couldn't you
so
find a gas station?
after we left that day, we went back up and hit the Beaver Kill,
Yeah.
and we fished a couple spots, and then it was starting to get like spitting rain, and then we actually ran into like two other dudes that were fly fishing, and there was this one dude from Pennsylvania. He's like, yeah, there's a fucking campground right on the Beaver Kill. He's like, I bring my camper up and I live here. I was like,
crazy.
that's fucking dope. He's like,
Crazy.
yeah, the camper costs me, I think he said it was like $200 a month.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we stayed in a four bedroom.
Yeah.
Was it 4? I think it was a 4-bedroom, and it was like $220 a night
Yeah.
for the whole thing. I'm like, seriously? Crazy. Great trip if you live in Maine, guys. Go to the Catskills. Go check it out.
Absolutely.
It's more remote than remote Maine. Literally.
You'll see less people.
You'll see less people. You'll see way more people in the Rapid River than you will.
I told Mandy, like when I brought Mandy up to the mag last year on a Sunday day trip, I was like, there is a very good chance we'll get there and this place is going to be packed and we're just going to turn around and come home.
Yeah.
Just so you fucking know.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Just a heads up. This
And it
is
wasn't
possible.
bad. I mean, there was a couple trucks there and I fished for a couple hours and I was like, and more trucks were showing up. And I was like, fuck this. And it started raining and I was like, let's go get some lunch. We're heading back.
It's crazy.
Go to the OG, get lunch.
That's a good life, bud.
That
really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
I just want something like the OG that I can pull up to on my boat. There's
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's Pepperell Cove Provisions, which if you want to pay fucking $22 for a sandwich and fucking $70 for a 6-pack of beer,
Yeah.
that's
Anything
your
with the
spot.
name provisions is it just reeks of dollar signs.
Yeah.
It's too bougie.
Yeah.
And even the restaurant there sucks. You're just there for the view, and I'm like, well,
Yep.
I could just be on my boat right there with my own rum punches.
Yes.
Fuck you guys.
Right?
Rangeley has a place, Classic Provisions, and it's good. But however, I'm like, this doesn't fit the mold. Come on,
Yeah.
come on, don't be bringing that up here. That's what I love about Rangeley. Though. There's no McDonald's, there's no Burger King. Like you can't have commercial establishments up there.
None of that in New York either.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
York doesn't allow it.
Good.
York is steadfast, and every time there's a new...
How is York getting away with this? Because, I mean, you're so close to Massachusetts.
It's
It's almost like where I live is more Massachusetts than where you live.
It really is.
Sorry for Mass people listening. My wife's from Massachusetts.
Nah, fuck them.
I love Massachusetts. I love parts of Massachusetts. I just don't like...
There's a lot of cool parts of
I don't
Massachusetts.
like people bringing their politics to Maine from Massachusetts and
Yeah.
shoving around the housing prices. It's not cool.
Don't leave the place that you were from and bring your shit here. Just remember why you came here.
Yep. I will never forget this guy that I guided. I don't even care if you listen to this. He was from New York, and they moved up here during COVID. I think they bought in Brunswick. Paid $200,000 over asking price for a place,
Jesus Christ.
and then they instantly put like $200,000 into it to make it the way they wanted. He wanted to go to Rangeley and catch and I don't badmouth clients, but this guy pissed me off. He wanted to catch a fish like ice out fishing or whatever, and he just wanted to learn how to ice out fish. And I was like, all right, that's cool. So I brought him, and holy cow, we hit the chubs hard that day. I remember they're just everywhere. It was like you had to catch like 6 chubs to catch 1 trout. And I told him, it's early season, like it can be really hit or miss. And so I'm fishing with him, and he's telling me, he's like, I drove up through all these towns. What a bunch of shitholes. And I'm like, dude, those are like cool little towns. Those are like where people live. They're like loggers and people work at the local mill down like Rumford there or whatever. And I'm like, those aren't shitholes. They're just, like
Rumford kind of is a shithole.
Yeah, I mean, the town's near it though. I'm saying, like as you're coming up into Byron and all that. Like, I love that stuff. I know it looks run down and like shanty whatever, but I'm like, I don't know.
There's no better town out there than Carthage.
Right, but then he starts complaining about Brunswick and then Portland and saying, oh, it's not enough nightlife here or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you can go back to New York anytime. Like, it's open.
Yeah.
They're willing to take people back there. There was a mass exodus, And what was crazy was that day was I just want to learn how to fish ice out. I just wanted to see what you do, like how do you fish it and stuff. And then like 3/4 of the way through the day, he hadn't caught a big brook trout yet. He caught some smaller ones and a ton of chubs. And we're driving to another spot, and he's like, listen, he's like, I really, really want to catch a big brook trout. He's like, I'm part of the Manhattan Fly Fishing Club or something like that. And he's like telling me it's like a place where they like smoke cigars, drink brandy, and like show off pictures of all their fish they catch around the world. And I'm like, and there it is. You didn't really want to learn ice out fishing. You just wanted to catch a fish so you could show off to friends or whatever. And like,
there's one of those in Portland now.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
What, a fancy fly fishing club?
Well, no, it's not a fly fishing club. It's close, but it's like a bourbon bar. It's like it's something like whiskey locker room or something.
Do you have to have like a membership?
You have to be a member, and you keep your whiskey in your own locker. And then it's just like leather couches, like cool hangout. Ask George about it, because he went with his new friends, who he's going up to the Rapid in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. Those guys?
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It's hilarious. And so like I was asking my dad spots of like where they're going, and I know the guy he's going with. He's one of my financial advisors. He's doing very well for himself. He's not hurting.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, easy. We're not. I don't want to share spots right now and burn them." And so I took my dad's phone from him, and I was like, "This is Garrett. I have better spots than you. Fuck off." I was like, I will catch more fish than you, no matter where we go, anywhere in this fucking state.
Bring it.
We should swindle George into bringing us to this bourbon locker place, like a few trout bums, and just like walk in.
I would love to walk in there, just like after a day on the salt with my fucking beard just destroyed from. You're like, all right, boys,
sunburnt, fucking half shit faced.
This seems pretty gay around here, guys.
Yeah, you guys got any fucking Burger King?
We getting George back up to Rangeley at some point here?
I think so. I don't know. It's going to be pretty hard to pry him off his new boat.
I saw that. What's he gonna do on the boat though? Was he just kind of cruise around the harbor, hit up restaurants?
Oh, he'll go
or is
out.
he like
No, he's
a fucking animal.
at this
fishing?
point, he's just annoying the fucks.
Yeah,
at
the
Web
boat's
Hand
not
at
even in the
Boatyard.
water. He's just driving the people that work on it. nuts.
So that's the boatyard I went to the other day. I helped my buddy John launch his lobster boat and bring it back into Perkins Cove. And I went up to Web Hand and I saw Ben and Jack, and I was like, "Man, I'm so sorry for you guys." I'm like, he's like, "Why?" I was like, "'Cause of that boat right there." And he looks over, he's like, "Huh?" I was like, "That's my father's boat." He's like, "Oh, your father's George?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, he's not a bad guy, but man, he brought me up forum articles and all this stuff on how to cut a hole in his boat. And he's like, "I know, George. I do this for a living."
awesome?
I was like, "Yeah, well, he's in Florida for 2 weeks, so enjoy your peace and quiet."
Do you know a lot of lobstermen?
Yeah.
How's that industry doing? Because all I hear is like they're gonna be hurt by this. They're gonna be hurt by this. Like, are dudes making it? Are they living okay?
They're
Making
doing
the
fine.
Money? Is the numbers
Yeah.
still there?
I
They're
mean,
doing
Noah's
fine.
always fucking with him.
I mean,
but-
yeah. The biggest thing is right now is the regulations and the changes in regulations yearly of like how they report their catches. And
Yeah.
it's just fucking stupid.
What are the numbers of lobster still?
Oh yeah,
Still.
yeah.
I know
but-
some lobstermen that like they have cameras on their boats now. They have trackers in their boats.
Yeah.
That they have to so that Noah can or whoever the fishing regulators can look at anytime to see. You know,
I mean, actually, I ran into Zach Donnell today in Hannaford,
yeah.
and I was like, "How's it going?" He's like, "It's not bad." I mean, they're the first ones to tell you fucking things are terrible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
But
I've got so many lobstermen that come in the shop to buy a $20,000 lawnmower, and their fucking $80,000 pickup is idling outside burning diesel fuel.
yeah,
Wait. There's a $20,000 lawnmower.
Yeah, I
Like
sell them all
what?
the time.
Like those zero turn ones.
Yeah.
Those are 20 grand.
Some of them.
yeah.
Jeez, did they blow you?
No.
Did they do your dishes?
No, most of them
in your
just get
house?
handed to a Mexican and they beat the shit out of it for the summer.
20 grand, man. That thing better be.
I just like I said, I sold $300,000 worth of fucking lawnmowers to
That's
Piscataqua
insane.
Landscaping.
Yeah.
How insane is it that I can just cut my grass with a $300 Toro from Lowe's, and that this guy's spending $20,000 to also cut grass? And yes, you could obviously cut way quicker or field or whatever, but I mean,
20
that's
years
quite
ago-
that's quite a gap, dude.
When I started working
300
in
to 20,000.
at Elliott Small Engine, a kid could come in and buy a commercial lawnmower and a trailer and a used 1-ton pickup, and he'd be into it for 20 grand.
Yeah,
and he could
with
start
the-
a business,
with the pickup.
and he could start a business and
Wow.
make $100,000 a year.
Yeah,
And now, it's, I mean, a 1-ton pickup is 60 grand, if not, it's way more than that.
yeah, or a nice used one's
okay,
still
yeah.
40.
Can confirm it's way more than that.
And and then you give it to a fucking drug addict because that's all you can fucking hire,
Yeah.
and they run the fucking thing down the road.
Wow, unbelievable.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I have flipped my fair share of mowers in my short career as a landscaper.
Like flip them over.
Yeah.
Oh,
They beat the shit out of them.
I've
Yeah.
never even been on a riding lawnmower, so if I'm flipping a walking one, that's a problem.
Oh no, it was a walk behind, but it was one of
Oh.
the big Toro commercial.
Were you hammered or on a hill?
No, on a hill.
Gotcha.
We were in Rye. We were in right over by Wentworth by the sea. We had to get a truck with a winch. To
Oh,
get it
Piscataqua.
back.
Every year they come in. Well, they got one stuck so bad it took 3 trucks to get out. We had to bring an excavator to get one of the trucks out. It's like, I mean, these guys do like they don't like an owner operator. Like I deal with this one guy at Wells. Yeah, he has a $20,000 lawnmower, but he's going to keep that thing for 10 years, and he's going to pay it off within the first year, and he takes care of it and shit like that. These big companies that spend $300,000 on equipment, they're going to spend $300,000 on that equipment in 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Because they have to, because it gets to a point where it's just not fucking worth it for them to fix. And you know they've got
Yeah.
120 employees.
5 full-time mechanics. Like
It's
Crazy.
wild.
How's the truck search going?
I found the truck I want. I just need to offload my truck right now.
Is the truck you want like reasonable, or is this like the dream truck?
A good mix of both.
Okay.
I gave
Give
up
us
on
the stats.
I gave up on the diesel.
Okay.
So it's a 1-ton. It's an F350,
Okay.
but it's white, which I don't love, but
Crew
So you got the
cab,
Godzilla
crew cab.
motor in it?
crew cab. Yeah, no, it's a 7.3,
Gotcha.
What's it, a 6.5 bed?
6.5 foot bed, tremor edition, so it's on 35s already.
Oh, nice.
Full entertainment package.
What's an entertainment package in a truck look like these days?
It's
Big screen,
like
comfy
huge
seats.
screen. Like,
Oh, up front there.
Yeah, like
But this, we're not talking. There's not like a DVD player in there for the kids, right?
no,
No. Okay.
full moonroof. But
Nice.
the weird thing with this truck is it's cloth seats,
Usually leather.
usually leather, or
Yeah.
if you have cloth,
Heated,
you get a
cool.
bench seat. This is cloth seats with a center console,
Oh,
and it's got rubber floors. And I was like, well, that's fucking
that's
sick.
nice.
I can hose my truck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to buy the weather text and all
Yeah.
that stuff. That's cool.
So,
New or used?
used. 2 years old,
Okay.
55 still.
That's not bad.
That's fucking insane.
For a 350. Yeah, I don't know. Well, here's my thing. So I'm also looking to change trucks. I'm looking to go a little bigger.
Yeah.
I have a family I want to tow in mine. It's not because you make fun of me for driving a Taco, because you also drive a Bronco. So we can
I do,
that.
but I own way better stuff.
Can I also talk about the Bronco? I want to bring this up. Not the Bronco you drive, but the other Bronco. They're literally copying a Jeep Wrangler. Like, I'll be driving on the road and I can't even tell the difference in a Jeep Wrangler versus those new Broncos that.
That's just
100%.
because
look
you're
like
not a
that.
car guy.
Yeah.
But why? But why?
They are 100% like they're going
Well,
with the
and
doors off
What is the
thing.
play there, though?
It's, well, they're Broncos going back to what Broncos started as.
What do you mean?
Like, that's how Broncos used to be.
Like the Jeep?
Yeah.
Like the Wrangler?
Well,
'Cause-
they were always bigger. But now the Jeep Wranglers are so fucking big that they're the size of Broncos.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because the Bronco was a full size. Like,
Well,
they
like
had
the
Bron-
Broncos are like, we're talking like OJ's Bronco, right?
Yeah.
And like, listen,
You could remove the top on those.
to me, I like those old Broncos. Like Larry Benoit, he's born on the hood of his truck on his
Yeah.
Bronco. Like that's what he drove around.
Yeah.
That's a cool Bronco. I just feel like what they've done to them, it doesn't look like it. It looks almost more like a cube than it does a
Absolutely.
Bronco.
Oh, it does.
But my thing is with them, like, why are they now copying the Jeep? Are they getting more sales that way? Is it cheaper than
sure.
the Jeep? Is it cheaper than
No.
Wrangler?
Well, it depends on the model.
I don't know. It's probably way nicer than the Jeep. Jeeps
The Jeep,
suck.
yeah. I hate Jeep.
Jeeps are
Jeeps
uncomfortable.
are fucking terrible.
They're loud.
Yeah.
Like even the new ones, you pay $60,000 for a 4-door Wrangler, and it's a fucking rattle box.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just shit rattles. It fucking the top. You could hear the wind. Like no, fuck you.
Well, and aren't the Wranglers, haven't they been taken over by the gay male demographic, just like the Subarus are taken over by the lesbian demographic?
Some of them, not quite as bad.
Yeah.
Like, you still have the guys that want, like, there's a fucking kid that lives down here who's got a fucking Wrangler on, like, fucking 44s. It's fucking retarded.
Well, I see what you're saying.
But it's an older Wrangler,
Yeah.
right?
No,
No.
it's a 4-door.
No, but when you jack it up like that, it's different than the ones you see. But it's just funny. I worked with a guy who was single, and he was always looking for ladies, but he had a Jeep Wrangler, and he talked about how many times he have dudes looking at him, looking at him, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I heard that about Wranglers. Maybe I've heard wrong, but
I haven't.
Maybe you're just homophobic.
Yeah.
what, the Wrangler or me? This is what I've heard about him.
Just joking.
I used to listen to the 93.1.
Yeah.
That's Blake, and he's gay.
Yeah.
He used to always talk about how Jeep Wranglers are like the official gay dude car. So coming right from the horse's mouth.
I mean, it might be. George drives one, so,
there. Yeah,
you know.
I'm not saying there's any, listen. My dad also drove a Subaru Forester for like 9 years, which I was like, that's pretty much driven mostly by
Number one car driven by lesbians.
Yeah, it's just what it is. You know.
I told my
but
grandfather that
It's
who's
kind of
from,
funny.
who's from Farmington, Maine, when he bought his Subaru Forester. I said,
Yeah.
you know, that's the number one car driven by lesbians. Well, I guess I'm a fucking lesbian. Then. That's what he said.
I don't get the appeal to the Subaru stuff. It's so like
He loved it. Like he fucking
Man.
drove that thing all backcountry ponds. Fucking put a canoe on the top of it.
I can hear a Forester starting from a mile away. Like it's just got a distinct sound
Yeah.
to it. You know what I mean? And it's so like, I don't know. It's not. It's like a crappy little 4-cylinder engine.
But they're safe too,
Yeah.
and they hold their value.
Hey, this Bronco Sport's only got a 3-cylinder.
Really?
Yeah.
But I mean, a 3-cylinder today is different than a 4-cylinder was 20 years ago.
That's
Okay.
turbo too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same engine as my wife's car.
So here's my question for you. You guys are big Ford guys, right?
Yeah.
Sell me on a Ford, because what I know about Fords is it's most popular truck in Maine, right?
Yeah.
Ford trucks are popular. Do they rust though?
Not anymore.
They're all aluminum.
Is the
Except for
aluminum
the
is
frame.
aluminum good or bad though?
I
Well,
haven't had an issue with it.
Because aluminum's lighter, right?
It is lighter.
Yeah.
It's harder to repair if you get hit.
Yes.
That's the biggest downside to it is the repair costs for if you get in an accident.
Yep. People hit me all the time, so this is something I got to take into account.
Yeah.
I'm like a
But-
magnet for.
But if you look at new trucks, like the new Chevys all have aluminum hoods, aluminum fenders.
I will
like,
not buy Chevy, because anytime I see a Chevy that's even 2 years old, the wheel wells are already rusted out, and they have been doing that.
Not
since-
anymore because they use aluminum bedsides and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
like
they're just
everybody's
copying
going
Ford?
towards it. Like when Ford first did it, every body shop was like, "I'm not gonna be able to work on Ford trucks anymore." Well, if you do fucking body work right, you just replace the panel. You're not fucking bondoing it.
What about
You
the
know?
Toyotas? Are those aluminum?
I think a lot of them have gone to it.
Really?
Yeah,
Because as far as I know, for me, my biggest thing with the truck is like I want something that's just gonna last a long time. And I had a Chevy for years, and I was just constantly dealing with rust.
Yeah.
Right.
they had an issue with it.
Constantly dealing with rust, and now I'm so turned off to Chevy because of it. Right.
Even the frame of my truck that's not aluminum, it's steel, but it's coated now like it's fluid filled shit.
But the Toyotas haven't been aluminum for a while, and they don't rust. And so to me, I'm like,
Well, let's go back 10 years.
no, the older
10,
ones. You're right.
10,
Yes,
20
yes, yes.
years. Toyota had a bit of a
Yes.
problem with rust. Remember
But
that
since
time
that-
they gave everybody?
But since the 2011s, they haven't had
Yeah.
those issues.
You know,
though.
you're right.
So I'm like, is that the key though? They're like whatever steel it is they're using.
I think
those
the
aren't
best.
aluminum.
So here's my take on vehicles: is find a dealer that you like. Find a dealer that you work with that is, and it's tough. Like I found one, and it may be a different experience for somebody else.
Yeah.
But like me and my wife have dealt with Bill Doobie on 3 different vehicles now. Bill Doobie's in Dover, and they've been nothing but good to us. Any service issues, they've taken care of us.
Yeah.
Now, not Garrett necessarily, but Garrett may have dealt with Bill Doobie and had a different experience. That's fine. But Bill Doobie sells Toyota and Ford, and my thing was, like, somebody asked me, like, what would you go buy for a truck tomorrow? I said, I don't know. I'd probably buy a Ford or a Toyota because I'd go to Bill Doobie.
Right.
And that's my thing. Like, if Bill Doobie sold Dodge and Chevy,
Yeah.
I'd probably buy a Dodge or a Chevy from them.
See, my thing's not that. I don't know anybody. Like, I don't really care about dealerships.
Yeah.
I don't like going to dealerships.
I think the best truck for resale value is something to look at. So Toyota,
Yeah.
But
what's going to last the longest and not rust is what I care about, because for me, that's been my bad experience. With
I don't
rust.
think you're going to run
Rust.
into a lot of rust issues anymore because
Yeah,
everything is going to
even
aluminum.
the Tundra's gone
Now,
aluminum.
are they treating these? Are they undercoating these trucks, or is it just 'cause
Some of them are
aluminum
undercoated
doesn't
from the
rust?
factory, and I would recommend
A lot of those dealerships now recommend it before you. Like my mom just bought a 2025 Expedition,
Yeah.
and
It's something they're adding.
they're
on.
adding that on as a.
See, they don't do this in the rest of the country though. So it's
No.
like Chevy may be really popular, but in New England, it's like it turns into a rust bucket.
Yeah.
But they don't need to worry about that.
Well,
in
I mean,
Virginia,
my
Florida,
truck,
and-
my F250 is fucking rusting wicked bad.
Yeah.
The bed, and it's a known problem on those trucks. There's a whole market out there for guys.
In New England only though.
Yes, there's guys in Maine that drive empty fifth wheel gooseneck trailers down to fucking South Carolina and buy truck beds and drive back and sell them.
That's crazy. But it's a thing here, right? So for me, I'm like,
Well, it's
How do-
it's $4,000 a
what
bed.
vehicle avoids that though? You know what I mean? To me, I drive around and I see Toyotas and I don't see rust issues with them. I see it with Chevys.
Well, the newer trucks,
the
you're not
newer
going to
ones-
see it.
Anything
What's newer though? Newer than what year?
2020 and up.
Yeah.
2020.
I think
Both
I would
Fords
stay
and
away from
Chevys?
Yeah.
anything 20. I would not go back any more than 2022.
Okay.
just because.
And here's my thing though. I don't like the new Toyota models newer than 21. I'm not a fan of these new Tundras and stuff
Well,
right now.
Toyota you might be all right with, but like if staying American, you had such supply chain issues and such fucking weird fucking truck builds.
Yeah.
For all of 2020 and all of 2021, I would stay
My truck's a 19.
fuck away from them.
Yeah.
And like that's why I was looking at 23 and newer. It's just
What are you
because
talking about, for repairs and stuff though?
no, just for build quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything was done haphazardly with whatever
To get 'em
COVID
out as fast
times
as they
and
can.
Yeah.
Ford had their limited series, like their highest limited, like that's their most luxury truck you could buy, or SUV. Some of them came through with non-power seats because that's all they could fucking get for them at the time. So
Listen,
it's like,
if you ask me today, based on like looks and size and functionality and stuff, like forget about rust, forget about anything, right? Like, what would you want to drive? I want to drive an F-250 so bad. I think they're like those F-250 Super Duties are perfect.
they're beautiful
awesome.
looking trucks.
Right. So,
Dodge
but
is
am I
also
going to be
super
dealing
cheap.
with shit with them? Is my
no, I
is
don't
my-
No.
think so.
And-
Everything's gonna have its quality. Like,
Should I just get it like rust checked every like 2 years
get
or
it
something?
get it under
Get it-
fluid, under coated,
Yeah.
fluid filmed or NH underbody like every 2 years.
Yeah.
Stay up on that. Your regular preventative maintenance stuff. I think anything that you're gonna see issues with is electrical stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
like that's where you want to focus your extended warranties and shit, is in the electrical side, because those are the things that are going to have the gremlins.
Yeah.
Mechanics wise, brakes, suspension, transmissions, you can have your issues, but the electrical stuff is what scares
I
me.
want
because
one
there's-
so bad. They look awesome. They seem functional. It's a great size for what I'm looking for. But my problem is I'm muddied because I have a Tacoma. I got 100,000 miles on it. Beyond replacing the brakes once and doing the tires twice, I've never had to replace one thing in this truck.
Yeah.
And at 100,000 miles, I've had other vehicles where I've had to replace multiple things. Shocks
that
and
F-150 out there has, I mean, knock on wood, has 143,000 miles on it.
Wow.
And I spent the money. I put good tires on it the last time I put on it. Those have been on it for 60,000 miles at least.
Yep.
And I've done brakes on it.
How many miles on it when you bought it? Remember?
Brand new.
Oh,
I've had
how
that.
long you had it?
I've had it since 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's a lot of miles.
I was driving fucking close to 50 miles a day for 3 years.
That's nothing for miles.
What, 6 years?
140?
That and to
that's-
fishing
what do you mean?
trips and
That's like 20...
22 a year?
23 a year. I'm rocking like 17 a year. And to me, I feel like that's high.
my
Well-
commute went from 23 miles a day to 2 miles a day.
Now, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, and like so Leah's car we bought with less than 30,000 miles on it. She's at 100. My Bronco Sport is at, I don't even know. I've got 36,000 miles to use, so I'm at like 20
You drive
on
that
that
to work most days?
every day.
Yeah.
And then I drive my truck on Fridays just
Yeah.
to drive it.
Yeah.
Like I used to put close to 40,000 miles a year on a vehicle. Like I was going through a set of tires a year.
How many miles to work for you?
44. Or no, sorry, 44 round trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what I do. Talk with a family.
It's 35 minutes door to door.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing, almost a little
Oh.
bit more from Sanford and back to Elliott a day.
You're
and, like,
talking me into it. F-250.
Just do it.
just do it.
You
have our permission.
I've owned everything
my mind a lot.
except Toyotas. I've never owned a Toyota in my life.
Is
but
that because it's not American made? Is that like
no,
your
had
part
not.
of it?
No, they don't make a diesel.
In
Yeah.
the U.S.
Yeah. Why
And
so
why-
big on diesel? It's more expensive.
It is more expensive, but they're also way more like for towing stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so much nicer.
Gotcha.
I mean, like,
No.
and realistically, like fuel mileage and just longevity. Like, I do an oil change a year. That's it.
Yeah, that's good.
But I don't follow anything else other than that. Like, I put synthetic in it. I change it once a year. I change fuel filters twice a year,
Yep.
and that's it. Like, maintenance wise, they just run. The 6.7 they've figured out that it's a great motor now. The other versions of Ford diesels sucked. The
What are those, like
6.0
F257 and the gas powered?
7.3 liter gas engine.
Good.
It's
Heard
a
great things about it.
fucking huge motor.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll fucking tow anything.
I
you
mean,
want.
does any truck today have a bad motor in it though? It seems like everything lasts. Like I know dudes who have Tacomas that have 300,000 miles on it.
Oh yeah, for
Versus
sure. I mean, Ford had problems with their F-150 motors. Their 5.0s especially were bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad.
What's a new F-150 have in it?
Depends.
Depends.
Some of them have 5.0s.
Some of them have a 5.0, which they're nice. They've straightened out the 5.0 now.
Mine has a 2.7 V6 twin turbo.
Yeah.
They make a 3.5 twin turbo V6, which has a higher towing capacity.
Are they making V8s anymore?
Yeah,
They make the
they make
5.0
an
is
F-150
a-
with a 5.0.
Gotcha.
And then I think gas, they have that.
The other day,
73.
the other day I was getting my oil changed in my Bronco when I found the truck I wanted. And if I just shut my fucking mouth, I probably could have gotten away with turning my truck in and them not knowing anything. So I might go to a different dealer and just see if I can find a truck I want and just trade my truck in.
Yeah.
And
When
just
you
be-
trade your truck in, don't they ask you like a series of questions sometimes? And
Yeah, but so technically
you're not sworn under oath.
technically everything is there.
Everything's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's just bypassed, right?
I mean, it might just have a straight fucking pipe through part of it, but that's fine.
I've always found it funny when I've gone to trade in a used vehicle to buy a used vehicle, and you're like, oh yeah, I have a trade, and they're like, all right, we'll go look at it in a little bit, and like you're walking around, you're like, oh yeah, there's a dent on the one you're gonna buy. There's a dent there, oh, there's a scratch there, and like, oh yeah, those are just minimal, whatever, and then
They
like,
come
the
back
moment-
with yours.
The moment you go out with your car, they're like nitpicking the hell out of it. Like, oh, there's a scratch there. That's gonna take some off, and oh, there's
Yeah.
a dent back there, and you're like, dude, we just did the same thing on the other side, and you were like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Every vehicle I've ever traded has been
Hypocrite.
so fucked that it doesn't even matter. That I'm just trying to get out of it.
I like to just beat them in the ground,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, it's like, I mean, my truck's at 178,000 right now,
Love it.
and it would keep going. I have no doubts about it, and I could keep it going. But it's also like, I don't know. If I don't buy a new truck in the next like 2 years, I'll never have a new truck because the girls then will be into things that cost me way more money and like college. And then I'll just be like, all right, cool. I'm driving a 2011 in fucking 2031.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Well, boys,
Let's do it. Holy cow.
yeah,
Chit
that
chatting.
went by.
Yeah. What time we start?
An hour and 52 minutes ago.
Oh, wow. That's a long one for you guys. Well, you know me. I can go all day. So.
Well,
all
folks,
day, baby.
thanks, Aaron, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming
Appreciate
down,
it.
dude.
It's good. It's good
You're
seeing
welcome.
you guys.
You're welcome anytime.
Next time we meet, it's going to be on the water.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, you let me know when you're available for fly fishing. For stripers.
It's that time, baby. All right.
We'll see you guys out there.
I have Mondays and Thursdays right now wide open.
As do I.
Good luck fishing. Send us pictures. We love you. Peace.